Good morning. I thought I would take some time. Oh, technology is just not my best friend today. It's not. It is not my friend today. But I thought I would take some time to I don't know. Anyway, get my technology together. And that may or may not happen. So, yeah, I'm just not going to worry about it. Yeah, so I thought I'd take some time. I'm in the middle of morning stuff, morning tinkerings around my house, and give some updates or give some progress on the Blanket House program. That's my newest shenanigans. So I guess first, and I got my stuff around me, stuff that I said I was going to do this morning. Rosemary that I'm stripping to dry. I got some seedlings started to see if I can get some rooted because I would like to have a rosemary plant. One is all I need. Of course, I have 4 sprigs rooting, but just to give me a better chance of success. And then garlic, I'm going to blend this up and then freeze it. I go through a lot of garlic, and sometimes I don't use it because I forget, but I'm going to take all of it. I've got about 5.5 cloves. One of them starting to sprout, so I'm going to just grind them up. So I'm going to be peeling those today. And then I got flowers and a new, this has nothing to do with the Blanket House program, but that's today's color flower. And then there's an older lady that I buy flowers from each week, and she had both the rosemary this week, the big bundle of rosemary minus the 4 sprigs. I think you can see that, and that was 50 cents. And then she has these, which is more something. I looked it up. I Googled it. It's, I thought it was like a globe amaranth, and that may still be what it is. But the word that she told me, I couldn't remember. Moradia. Moradia is a native plant, and I don't know what it is. I just thought it was pretty, and I said, "Can I put it in my vase?" And she said, "Yeah," but she said something like, "You put it in water." And I was like, "Tea," and she was using words that I didn't really understand. It wasn't important. I was gonna get it anyway, and I'll see what it is, but I'm planning to put some of it in my vases this week because it's got this little bitty, almost clover-like. That's why I thought maybe it's globe amaranth. So I'll do some research and see what it is. It might have more value than just putting in my vases today. But anyway, I got 2 bundles of those, and those were 25 cents a bundle. So I was very happy about that because it's got lots of this fuchsia purple kind of color to it. So anyway, the Blanket House program. Let me talk about that this morning. A little bit of why, and maybe I'll first start with what it is, and then why that would be something that I would be putting my retirement energy into, and adding it to my passion project list. First of all, it's a program that's still in development. Part of ensuring sustainability, like I mean that as I have lived so much of life not sustainable. Like I was farming, and sometimes it's stuff you're passionate about, but the passion is there, the vision is there, and then you do it in a way that really becomes detrimental, unsustainable. And that was me. There were still some areas of my life that were keeping me in that mode. Fears and insecurities. You're running a business, you got staff, you got wages to pay, payday comes around. You have responsibilities. You have things to care for and money to make to be able to care for those things. And sometimes, a lot of times, I lived a lot of life where taking care of me was not a priority even. So if someone would have asked me, like, are you a trustworthy caregiver for yourself? The answer would have been absolutely not. I'm a good caregiver for other things, people, places, projects, but not really trustworthy to myself. And I was like, girl, you're going to kill yourself. Like literally, you're going to burn out something that can't be replaced. My knees blowing out was a wake-up call. It was like, this is something you can replace. They can put a new titanium joint in. They do it on a regular basis. But if you keep going in this way, are your projects more important than, living to see them come to fruition, manifestation, whatever? And it was a big wake-up call. It was like the brick wall. It was that crisis that shifted my paradigm in a real drastic way. It was whatever it is that you have not healed from is keeping you in this dysfunctional mode where you aren't even taking care of you. And that really is your first responsibility. And when you don't have like children to be responsible for anymore, like that's your only responsibility. Everything else I volunteer for. So I just knew it was time. It was time for change. But Blanket House program, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she knows who she is. And I said, have you ever been whole life exhausted? She was like, Lorana, what does that mean? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What does that mean? You be talking in formulas. And I do. But I felt like, one of those ladies that I have come across in my life, Sister Davis, I think that's her name. When I first moved to the South, I was coming from California. I was green. That's what they called me. I was green girl from California. I was 18 years old, moving to the Deep South with kinfolk that I was marrying into from Town Creek, Alabama. And I was going to a church, and one of the mothers of the church, I think her name was Mother Davis, said, baby, you be moving too fast. You just moving too fast. You need to slow down. There's a song that comes to my head, slow down. And she told me she was going to teach me about slowing down. And I didn't really understand her because I couldn't pick up the dialect. In north central Alabama, Citispell. And I didn't know what she was talking about, Citispell. But I was coming to her house to whatever the training was she was giving. I was teachable. And she told me how to get there, and that was a whole adventure in life. And I went to her house, and what she was saying, as I deciphered it finally from the front porch of her house, was, come, let me teach you how to sit a spell. That's a joke that has been given since I was 18 years old, sitting on her porch. I had never heard that term. I was from Northern California. I was a valley girl. That's where I grew up at. And what she was talking about was like a reminder, probably because I was going to need it later in life, but it was like, sometimes you got to just stop. You got to slow it down, slow life down, and you got to rest. And that sit-a-spell moment has carried me. It's carried with me. It stayed with me. That was one of those small things in life, but huge lessons on the pace of life. I've learned that lesson over and over again. I've gotten remedial classes in that lesson. Times in my life where I had to remember, slow down, or go get somewhere and sit down. Sit down. Go sit down somewhere. You're doing too much. You're moving too fast. You're doing too much. And healing. How does that even relate to healing? Because sometimes there's times in my life where I have been whole life exhausted. And when my friend laughed about that, like, what does that mean? I was like, having one of those Mother Davis moments, keep living. When you get to that point in your life, you will understand. Just hold on to these words. It'll be a seed planted. You'll know it. You'll feel it. It will make sense to you in the by and by. And there was a time when she called. I understand now. I understand what you were talking about now. It's an experience. I could tell you theoretically what that means, but there's no real definition that I could give that would be adequate for a lived experience. When you get whole life exhausted, all the logic, all the self-help books, they're great. They're beneficial intellectually, but sometimes your body just needs rest. Healing is what helps you become more and more sustainable, but sometimes you can't even do that. And I realized that. And in looking at how we help people heal, sometimes before you can even plant those seeds, you got to do the groundwork. As a retired farmer, I understood that so much more clearly from the experience of trying to plant good seeds in the physical. You want something to grow, you go invest in buying a farm, tilling up the soil, or at least thinking about it, planning out your schedule for the next season, getting your seeds, trying to get the best seeds you can, checking things like your water level, having them come out and test your well, and making sure that there's not contaminants from neighboring big commercial farms. Like, that's a real deal. Making sure that you have the best potential opportunity for those seeds to make it. But if you don't do the groundwork, the weeds are strong. Whatever that is in people's lives, they have to, interpret that for their lives. But I think it's a relevant analogy that you got to do the groundwork first. And not dismissing what's happening like in real time. I was up this morning looking at the news, kind of watching trends that I watch. When you've been involved in collapsonomics, when is the society going to hit some major paradigm shifting times? When is the old paradigm going to fade out? It doesn't fade out, it dies. Oftentimes kicking and screaming. So it doesn't dismiss what's happening, but even more relevant with what's happening, how do we help people heal, like in real ways? Well, I realized a long time ago, if people don't have a roof over head, food on the table, healing sometimes becomes less of a priority because you're in survival mode. That's just real. If you can squeeze it in, it helps make it better because it gives more resilience to your life. It gives better tools for dealing with crisis as it's happening. But I realize that some people, some women, let me be real specific on what this program is about. Some women who may be able to value from better tools to heal, opportunities to do deep healing, but some may be distanced from that reality because life is so exhausting and they may be emotionally bankrupt. So how do you weave compassion into the healing work? And really, Blanket House is that. It's not a real complicated program. It is simply providing an opportunity for women, some women, not all, it ain't a solution for everything, but for some women to be able to come away and just have a time of rest. It's respite stay. Respite from what? From life. When I was dealing with my father and dealing with hospice, they have this thing called respite care. When you're dealing with the reality of death. And oftentimes when you're dealing with hospice care, it's imminent death. It's not something this far away. By definition, it's something that's going to happen this year, They oftentimes offer caregivers respite stays, time where you can just go away, rest, so that you can come back and deal with the crisis at hand, looming death. And I feel like there's women out here. Which women? Women who are givers. Our program is specifically women who've been giving, and maybe giving like I did in a lot of ways, in ways that were unsustainable for you, and you've gotten to that point where the brick wall is right in front of you and you're trying not to hit it at full speed, where rest would help you get to that place where you could then put something in your tank so that you'd have something to be able to go back in and do the deep healing that helps us get to this new paradigm in life for real. And so this program is a real simple program. It brings you to a place where the values are a little bit different. No, they're a whole lot different. where it's quieter. Life is quieter. One of the residents that's here now was saying, like, I don't hear sirens and like just the chaos of life, like it's quiet. Like I had to get used to the quiet. But it brings women here to a space that we're in the works of preparing, that would let you come and take a 2-week respite stay here. But planning new programs requires work, because that commitment that I've made to myself that retirement is not going to make you unsustainable like you did in the last chapters of life. Planning is necessary. This isn't a program that's going to run by my work, my efforts alone. We got to have a team. We have to have people willing to commit. This program is going to take money. Somebody got to commit to those funds. Some people, a collective, needs to commit to keeping that commitment with those who will be leasing these properties from. It's an older lady in my neighborhood. But there needs to be care teams, people that say we're committed to helping to coordinate the care for these women that come. I'll tell you a little bit about how the program works. Individuals can apply for the program. And I mean seriously, this is for individuals who are looking for rest. This isn't about those that's transitioning to Cuenca. Cuenca's wonderful. There's a whole lot of housing here. Come, check it out. It's a great place. It's got a low cost of living with a high standard of living. This isn't for those people. This is for those who say, I value rest, and that's what I'm coming to do with my time spent there, so that we send you back home more refreshed and capable of moving back into your life, hopefully at some point. Reaching out to us, let us help you with some of the healing tools, but that's not what it's about. It's not about getting you down here and selling you healing. It's about those who want to rest. And so we're going to have an application process. Who in your life supports this for you? Who can vouch for you? You know, who are the references that say you are someone that's worth the investment of time for the volunteers that are coming together to put this program together? Individuals will come. We'll have spaces available twice a month, on the 1st and the 15th. That's going to make it easy for us from a programming standpoint. And then we've been gathering support. And what we did is we put the word out there. There were some of us that were talking behind the scene. There were those that were some of our house stewards, like, you got to have the funds to be able to do this. And part of our goal for sustainability is, can we commit to this for a year? Here's what it would cost for us to be able to do that. Here's what it would cost for us to be able to furnish and prepare this place to be a place of rest for women to come. And so we talked to some of those people first, and we had a good feel that financially we could afford this and have it be sustainable. Have it be a program that could be affordable. There are some costs involved, because there are real costs in running a program like this. Some of the services that are needed to be able to keep this in place are going to require cost. And so this is not a free program. This is a program that has to be paid for by those that come. So it's a program that is accessible to those who can't afford it, or who have a supportive community that will raise funds. We've got a plan in place for those that may not be able to afford it, on how to tap into their community and do community-supported fundraising. And then we'll have individuals here. We're developing a team, an army of people, of friends and companions that would be able to take you on various outings that may feel like rest to you. There's a lot of opportunities here to be able to explore nature and culture and music and just lots of things. And so we've asked individuals that are here in the local area that would be interested in supporting this program, let us know, is there a place here in town that gives you joy, that you wouldn't mind just leading a soft field trip to, if our ladies come and want to do the kind of rest that might be rest in motion. And so we've had a really good response with that, with individuals who said, there's some places that I'd love to share with someone if they were coming. And so we're going to be making a directory of that. And then some of the administrative pieces, that how do you develop programs in the way that our social tech system really talks about? And that is about sustainable programming. And so thinking about those ideas of hierarchy, and sometimes as the visionary, you get locked into where it's only you, and I'm not trying to create that kind of dependency in any of the programs that we've got going on. So how can this program work if Lorana's off gallivanting somewhere? off on some other excursion or some other passion that leads her somewhere else? Do we have adequate support so that this program runs with or without me? Part of that's intentional. It's intentional for sustainability, but it's also intentional because we're talking about dealing with the ego issues, and sometimes hierarchies of visionaries, the leader of the whatever it is you're trying to do, sometimes gets locked in where that's the person that has to be the go-to person, and then what happens is the program then keeps them in bondage, and I'm not interested in doing that. And so part of it was first putting out a call saying we're thinking about doing something, but we're going to be wise. We're going to count the cost of what it takes to do this and to do it sustainably, and we're going to decide if we have adequate support for that. If not, it's just a nice idea, but it would create some bondage if we don't have adequate support. It means LaRonna would have to do it. I'd have to be willing to commit the energy to do it all, and I'm not willing to do that. That would keep me from being sustainable in my life. I've got lots of passions and projects in the works that I want to spend my time and energy on. And so part of it was putting that call out, and I was very pleased with the response, both the parts that deal with it financially and making sure that we've got a minimal commitment of what it would take to be able to move forward. And so with that, we felt very confident with being able to move forward with this program. And so then it goes to the final property acquisitions and getting the place ready. Our goal is to have the space ready in May, ready for use in May. We've got some more work to do behind the scenes with getting the application process set up, getting our operations part of the program set up. And one of the other things is we would really like to raise funds using one of our community-supported fundraising models to be able to give us the budget in hand for the full year. And one of the ways I'm super excited about that collaborates with another instigation move that we made in moving the guest house, our new Riverview Umbrella House. Our guest house, first of all, used to be located on the 4th floor of the same building that the way station is in. That's where I'm sitting now. And we relocated it to a larger space, a larger home, about a block away. And in that was about giving us space so that pairs of people can come and heal together. It's really important to have a healing support network. And oftentimes the way that you do that is bring them with you, and you come together committed to saying we're going to learn about these healing tools, and then we can be each other's healing support network. A space for families to be able to come, have adequate space. And so the guest house, the Riverview Umbrella House, has 2 rooms that we have been able to build into dual occupancy. Each of the rooms has 2 beds. We have a large room that really is conducive for families. It has 2 queen-size beds in that room, small living area within that bedroom area, the private area. And then we have another smaller but still adequately sized that has 2 full-size beds. And so it allows us some double occupancy space. And one of the things, I'll probably be getting a flyer out sometime today or tomorrow, is we're going to be offering 2 dates, the first 2 weeks of May, the 1st and the 8th, for individuals that want to come together. Either you can come individually and share a room with someone else, or come as pairs or groups. We have the capacity in those rooms and a special price point that we will be offering that we think creates a win for everybody involved. And so let me talk about the numbers of that, and let me tell you why that's relevant to the Blanket House program. First of all, for each of those that book for those 2 dates, 500 of the booking will go to the operation costs for the Umbrella House, with approximately a $4,500 annual budget. And we'd like to raise that through some of these tools of community-supported fundraising. A little bit different way of doing business models that both are sustainable but also help us fund some of the programming that we want to do, some of my passion projects, let me just be honest. And And so for individuals that come and book for those 2 weeks, the 1st or the 8th of May, the Healing Vacation Retreat is going to be discounted. Part of it is giving up the revenue. In part, we've got to be sustainable. There's costs, real costs that it takes to run those retreats and the excursions and all of that. But $500 will go towards our operating costs. We've got 4 spaces that can be booked each of those 2 weeks. That gives us 8 spaces, which would let us raise a majority of the annual budget and have it in hand in advance going into this program launching in May. The retreat costs are $1,500 for each of those spaces. And I do have some priorities, like who would be a good fit for that? Anybody that wants to do healing. Let me just say, you want to do healing and you want to do it on a budget cheaper than our normal retreat rate. Our Healing Vacation Retreat is normally $2,500. It costs what it costs because there's expenses, and those funds go into helping to fund other things, helping us to provide compensation, but also a replicatable model that can be sustainable pricing. For this particular offering, we're offering a discount. It allows us to be able to hopefully fund it in a way where everyone at the table wins. But who are we interested in? I'll be honest with you, I'm looking for leaders. If you have an organization, we want you to bring your team down. If you have an organization and you've been interested about how your organization can join our Global Underground Railroad and become a Healing First centered organization, we'll help you. But part of that is about your leaders coming and training and healing together. And so I would really love for leaders, if you have a team and you want to invest in your team, you coming with your team to explore healing on a deeper level, explore becoming part of our Global Underground Railroad, our network of people and organizations committed to a Healing First lifestyle, both individually and organizationally. But it's open to anyone. It's open, first come, first serve. Whoever books will get those spaces. And we'd love for individuals who are interested in healing, who want to do healing, and because we're offering an affordable rate, you may be able to do it easier. And who want to connect and say that part of why I'm coming is on these dates. I will, juggle my life and my schedule and get my stuff together to be able to move in this timing that we're offering this, because I know that part of my funds, not only is it going to me, but it's going to others. It's going to create a space so that women who may need that, so individuals who may identify. In the morning, Jackie, I was just talking about being whole life exhausted, about the Blanket House program. Individuals that may, want to do healing. Maybe you've wanted to come. Maybe you've seen what we've talked about, and maybe coming at an affordable rate will help you get here sooner. But who also say, I'm coming because I want part of my money to be able to go into not only helping me, but helping someone else. And so on May 1st and May 8th, those dates are going to be blocked out. Both of those semi-private rooms will be blocked off for individuals who want to come, take advantage of the discounted rate, and explore healing in this way. And what's next? Well, let me tell you kind of what the progress is as we've kind of moved to that readiness stage of saying, okay, we are going to move forward. We have adequate support to move forward with the development. We went back over and looked at the space and started looking at what we need, because that'll be the next ask. There are some things that we need, and if we can get those donated with things that you've got, if you're here locally or you're coming and you want to bring some things, we can get that done even more affordably. It's getting it furnished. The place that we are going to be using for the Blanket House is a 4-room, 1-bedroom house. It's a detached unit, but it's in a compound of other small units. And let me tell you what we've got secured so far. We've got a bed secured. We think it's going to coordinate nicely with the brightness of the home. We are going to need linens. Linens are one of those things that I found importing them is much better just having a nicer fabric up against your body. Linens and towels are things that I was advised to bring with me, and I took heed to that, and I'm glad that I did. We're going to be putting a queen size bed in there. Like I said, the bed is secured. So linens will be necessary. We believe that if we have 2 sets of linens, we'll have enough to rotate weekly, be able to rotate them out, and also be able to rotate them out as we have new guests come in each cycle. We're going to need towels. We realize that we'd like to have, we do have a small sofa that'll be going in, but we'd like in 2 of the other spaces, the bedroom and then the dressing room, kind of lounge room that's connected to the bathroom. We'd like to have some sitting chairs. So if you are local or you'd like to sponsor a sitting chair for the bedroom and sitting chair for the dressing and kind of lounging room, we would love to have that. We're going to need a small refrigerator in this unit, an apartment size refrigerator. It won't need to be large. Our ladies will be coming, and they'll be coming in 2-week stays. And so just adequate for perishables that may need to be refrigerated, milk, butter, fruits or vegetables, things like that. We are going to need, or we'd like to have, a toaster oven microwave combination because of the limited counter space in the kitchen. After looking at it, one of our current residents, Stacy, and I went over and we kind of talked this through for a couple days. That would be really perfect for those. I don't use a microwave much. I don't have one around here. If so, I would have donated it. But a microwave toaster oven would probably be really convenient for those that are staying on a stay of about 2 weeks, for being able to heat up or put things in a little toaster oven, but also be able to heat up things quickly in the microwave if they so chose. So we'd love for something like that. There's some pieces of furniture that we're going to need. One is an armoire type furniture. We'd like to find a piece of furniture that has a space for hanging clothes. Mindful that people will be coming for 2 weeks at a time. So a little space that maybe have a hanging bar for clothes, and then maybe a drawer for clothes to be put in, and perhaps it could also be a storage space for the extra towels or linen. That and a storage bench. We really feel the space would be conducive for having a storage bench, like a sitting bench that you'd have maybe if you had a bathroom space and you had a little like dressing area, but that had storage for things like blankets. So we'd love to have that. And then curtains. We are thinking about the color scheme, and I have some fabrics that have been waiting for a special occasion, and so we've talked through some of that and some of the decorating things that we'd like to do. And so we're going to be planning to have some curtains made for this space that'll implement some of these fabrics that I've picked up from around the world, most recently Ghana. And there's some color schemes and some artwork that we'll be framing. And so there's some pieces of arts if someone is interested in sponsoring having that art framed and hung appropriately in this space. That is currently a need. Or if you'd like to underwrite and sponsor us getting those curtains made, we've got several windows that we'll need to have curtains made in. And rugs, that's the other thing that we've looked at. The space is tiled, which will make it easy to clean and those kind of things, but wanting to warm the space up a little bit, would love to have some rugs. And so if those are things, one, if you're local and have those things, sometimes people have relocated here and you realize you have more things than you need. So if you're looking for a place to rehome some of those kinds of items. Also, if you are like a decorating person, if that's your skill set, it is not mine. It is definitely not mine. My family members have said things over the years about my fashion sense or lack thereof. And I think that goes into even home decorating. So if there's somebody and that just feels like a passion and you'd like to volunteer your services to this program in that way, we'd love to have you join. If you are interested, if you're here locally and you would like to be one of our trip docents, if there's a spot, if there's a museum, if there's a particular activity that you're really passionate about, that feels like it might be Rest in Motion, we'd like to add you to the directory. Our volunteers are going to agree to a one-day training to be able to learn more about our our tools and really prepare themselves. That part of this is about causing no harm. And so even our volunteers, we want you to have access to the tools that help with things like conflict resolution and healing. And so there's a one-day training for those that maybe have offered services virtually, some of the admin, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. We're going to be trying to get that into a platform that can be done virtually. But we'll have an opportunity for those that are here locally to be able to do that training in person if they choose. And yeah, it's going to be a place. It's going to be a place, hopefully it feels like a warm blanket, maybe with a cup of tea, that women will be able to come and spend 2 weeks in respite stay in a place. They can come and walk by the river. They can come and sit. They can see the flowers. They can just tend to their personal rest needs. That's it. It's not a setup. It's not a, you got to come and go to church. You got to come and be a part of our indoctrination. We will share if you'd like. But this is a time to just say there are some women that before they can get to rest, before they can get to the healing, the deep healing, they got to do rest. And so it's our way of really offering compassionate care to women who have given, and maybe, like I said, given in ways that were not always balanced to their own personal care, who may be at that point of saying, that's what I need. I need to be able to get myself together, go sit a spell somewhere. And so we're going to provide that opportunity. Our hope is that we will have our application process in place so that we can begin calendaring individuals that would like to come and begin to block those off on the calendar. There'll be 2 opportunities each month, either the 1st or the 15th, for women to come to the program. Cuenca is not the most direct place to get to, but it's also not that expensive from the U.S. Guayaquil is the suggested airport, so you got to get yourself here. You got to have a passport. You got to be able to cover the cost of the programming. But we want to make this available to individuals this may be the step closer to healing. We believe firmly that healing is first, but really to think that through, what that means compassionately, sometimes in order to get to healing. This is the tilling of the ground that's necessary. It's the rest that helps you to regroup and get your mind clear, to be able to even make that next step into deeper healing. And so we want to be a part of that process in this way. At this time, this program is going to be a program that will fall under our Women Heal Together programming. It will be exclusively for women. And this is a time of you coming on your own. Our space is going to be outfitted for a single individual. Individuals are welcome to stay longer and participate in our training or our healing retreats after that stay, but it's not a requirement or an obligation. This is a time for women to come and take 2 weeks away in respite care where they make themselves and their rest top priority. And I'm excited about that. I know there's been times in my life where rest was what I needed. I talked about, garlic. It's going to be nice. I'm going to grind that up. And I'm going to do the same dried as rosemary so I can use it. I have no rosemary in my stash. So I'm going to strip these down and then dry them, and then I'll have rosemary in my stash. I've been reading about rosemary tea, adding that to my tea regimen. So it'll be going in my tea drawer, and I'm excited about it. Plus, rosemary just smells so good. So, yeah. Blanket House program, where was I at? I got sidetracked by the garlic and the rosemary. It's supposed to help with your memory, but it's not helping soon enough, I guess, for today. I don't know, I lost my whole train of thought there. I got excited about my rosemary. Anyway, Blanket House program, we've decided to move forward with it. We've got enough support, and there's still ways for you to help and be supportive of this program. Tell your women friend. I was saying, at this time, this program is focusing on women. Doesn't mean that men may not need the rest, but it's just a reality. We can't fix everything, and this is what we're choosing to do. We're going to focus on women. It's not specifically black women or white women or older women or younger women. It's women, period. Women who have given and realized that maybe rest may help them get to their next level of healing. And yeah, that's it. It's a simple program. Simple in that it really is coming, women that come and decide that they need 2 weeks of respite where they can just take care of themselves and rest. Like if you need to just stay in the bed and sleep, part of what we have needed to have in place was that there's a support team where there will be support people to make sure that you have food and meals if you need it, or support in whatever way you need support. If you need someone to come make up your bed, because you can't do that, or wash dishes because you just can't, that we wanted to make sure that we have that at least available to you as part of this program. And so individuals can truly come and just tend to yourself. Tend to you. Rest. And so back to that time of Mother Davis, this is, for some, giving them the opportunity to go sit a spell. You may realize you need to, but sometimes life is moving so fast that you can't. So women that have the capacity, have the freedom to take 2 weeks away to come and rest. That's what it's going to be. It's a cute space. We've been shuffling fabrics, and I've been getting lessons. Someone told me, pull out your color wheel. I think that was a little sarcastic. I talk about the feeling wheels often. Pull out your color wheel. I was like, I ain't got one. Obviously, that's the problem. It's a problem that I'm not trying to fix either. So those that have those skills that could help us with that, if you like matching up fabrics or want to go shopping with me for fabrics so that I don't flub it up as I go to be matching stuff, because at one point I said, look at this looks good, doesn't it? That don't, no, Lorana, doesn't. Oh, it doesn't? Okay, well then. So if you want to be a part of this, there are ways that you can help us support women. If you'd like to make a donation, that was the other we're real happy about, that there were those that just said, let me write a check. Let me send some money. We've got a cash app for Repioneering Church. Send a donation. That will help us get there more sustainably as well. So if you would like to just make a donation, maybe in the mind of someone who you know, or yourself, where you have been at that time, and maybe you've been able to maneuver past that time of whole life exhaustion, but maybe you want to just give a donation. You can cash out to Repioneering Church. We've got all of the U.S. cash moving things, so PayPal, Venmo, what else? PayPal, Venmo, Zoom, Cash App. And so if you'd like to make a donation, reach out. We'll show you how you can do that and make a donation that is tax deductible. But if you want to support in that way financially, let us know. We're grateful for those who have made those financial commitments and pledges. We're grateful for that. That will help us most definitely to be able to do this sustainably. Yeah. If you want questions about the Blanket House program, we are working on finalizing the application process. So we'll have that out soon so that we can start booking. Because of the way and the rotation of it, for this year, it will give us 26 spots. 26 spots, and so as many of those as we can get booked and confirmed and use the space in that way, we'll be working to do that. And so if it's something that appeals to you, definitely be watching my social media or the websites. You can go to nowastedtime.com for our collaborative page, or globalundergroundrailroad.com for the International Welcome Centers page. I need to update it. If you've got skills in social media like web design and want to volunteer in that capacity, that would be wonderful, because it'll get updated when I get to it. But there'll be information once we have it for the application process. I'll make sure to add that, even if I don't update the website, to add that link to it so people can find that information. So if it's something that you're interested in, by all means, keep us on the radar so that as that application process comes, you can apply. There'll be a small council of individuals that'll be reviewing those applications for us. And we'll try to make it easy for you to maneuver, as easy as we can, and do digitally if possible. That just makes it easier for us. No, it makes it easier for me if we can do this process digitally, the application process. So be looking for that. Now that we are definitely into ramp up mode, we'll get those parts of it finalized. Take that out of our workbook and the details that we'd like for you to share with us in choosing those to come Again, this is women, maybe there's women that you know that you want to put this on their radar. If there are women that you know that are givers in your community, but you know rest is what they need, then recommending that they follow through on that and helping to support them in that way. We want your encouragement in that. Share our information, share the word. We want this space to be a space that's used for those that may really need that, especially as life is doing its thing. We're waking up to crisis every day. And so those individuals. So let's see the information or the call to action. Share. If there's women that you know that this may be of benefit, share. Begin to put that, plant that seed of information. If you are interested, especially if you are an organizational leader and want to bring your team down and take advantage of the special pricing for the first and second weeks of May to do the Healing Vacation Retreat, come learn about the healing work that we're doing. We'd love for organizational leaders that want to bring a team of their leaders down to do that healing work. Organizations that may be considering moving to a healing first centered kind of way of operation and leadership. And individuals, you and Buddy, this is great for buddy trips. If you've got friends that want to do some co-traveling together and know that healing is a part of what may be beneficial to you, come. It's a really nice vacation retreat. There's some really cool excursions that we do, but we do the work of healing. Like the first priority is about healing, and the rest of the things that we do are really about refueling you so that you can do deep healing while you're here and have that supportive team to work with you. If you want to help in any way, if there's things behind the scenes that you feel would be beneficial to this program from an administrative standpoint, reach out to us. We'd love to have you come and be a part of this project. If there's other ways that you'd like to connect, reach out. We mean it. We're Healing First centered. Our team is a team of people who have committed to healing in their own personal lives and then finding the points of connection in the lives of others. And I take that seriously. Having worked in some of the programs where Healing First has been the non-negotiable, man, it feels good. It has felt good. Some of you may have followed the Soul Safari last year, and those leaders who really committed deeply to do healing and saying we're going to be a Healing First team, a Healing First centered team. It feels good. We go through it, and it's not perfect. We have issues that come up because life. But like coming out of that where everyone feels good about the process, the experience, that we are doing more good than harm, and that's important. So if there's ways that you want to connect with us, if you are a healer and want to join into our network of Healing First centered healers, same thing, Healing First, so that we develop that common language within our community, the common capacity within our community, but we're looking for those that want to connect in ways. Reach out and connect with us. It smells very good at my house. I think I've given all the important things. If not, and you're interested, reach out. I'm retired, so I got the time. Call, chat with me, tell me what's on your heart as it relates to a point of connection you may see in the work that you're doing or passionate about, the work that you may be wanting to do or passionate about. The Umbrella House program, Healing Centered Housing, and intentional community development is of your interest. I am on the look for someone where construction trades are their mastery. If you are in that area or know individuals that want to be connected with healing-centered communities and the physical, our intentional community building, we'd love to find somebody that has an interest and passion and is feeling called to do it together with us. We've got a couple of building projects and building physical intentional communities from the ground up so that we can build sustainability in a different way. If you're interested in the Blanket House program and any of the ways and parts that are connected, both on the stewardship side and the operation side of it, or as a recipient of the services that it can provide, reach out to us and check out the other stuff we got going on. Our Umbrella House feature is being featured this year, really talking about that. If you're interested in coming and participating here at our Umbrella House, if you're interested in building umbrella houses throughout the world, come talk to us, reach out. I will be tinkering. I will be doing some kind of tinkering, pretty much guaranteed. But come, we're excited about building that network. There's some leaders who have committed to help us do that. And there will be a convergence here this spring where there will be even more planning and going on. So I'm sure there's going to be some future shenanigans kicking off, but this is one that really feels important, feels relevant right now. So the Blanket House program is a go. So we are moving from contemplation mode to active development and rollout of this program, and we have needs. We'd love for you to help us meet those needs. Come join with us as we create this space of healing, of respite for women here in Cuenca, Ecuador. Yeah, that's all I got to say. I am excited about my plants and my flowers this morning, and my herbs and my spices. Our garden project, obviously, it's not all I got to say. The garden project is happening. We are moving into compost reworking. That is the current phase that we're in. We moved and relocated our plants and worked the soil and fortified our soil in our planters and got them planted out. We've been getting good rain, so that's going well. And so now we're upgrading our compost system. We've got to build a bigger compost system. It was just too small. I thought it could work. It couldn't. It was just not big enough, and so we're reworking that. So that's the current project that we're working on, that and developing the plan for our irrigation plan. We're going to model a couple of different styles of irrigation, a drip irrigation system using our municipal water, and we'll also be doing a rainwater collection system and talking about some aquaponics. And so that's a retired farmers never retire. That's a project that will probably be in continuous motion from now until, which gives me something else to tinker with, so I'm excited about that. I may take some pictures or do a video down there one day in the coming week to give you an update of what's happening. There were some strawberries that were ripening. I think I told Stacy, I told her to eat them strawberries, girl, get them strawberries off that bush. But I got to go down there and look, because if she didn't, I'm going to eat them today. I'm going to go down, I got to water. There's a couple of our plants that are under patio cover. So I got to go water the papaya plant or move it where it'll get rain. So I'll be doing a little bit of that plan. So that's another one of the shenanigans that is in motion down the street at the Umbrella House. So that's it. Just shenanigans and, trying to do our part. The things that we feel called to do. This is something I feel called to do. And let's see if the universe provides. And so far we are seeing the provisions roll in. There's still some more provisions that we need, and perhaps you are a part of helping us be provisioned to offer this program. So reach out to us if any of that resonates for you or some other way that you want to connect with us. And yeah, that's all I got to say today. The Blanket House program, our newest basket of shenanigans happening, and I'm excited about that. That gives me joy. So hopefully you are involved in things in life that are giving you joy, even in the midst of whatever chaos may pop off on any given day right now in the world. So that's what I got to share. I got a pile of garlic husks. I'm going to grind that down and finish stripping down my rosemary. I'll set it out. We got good sun and let it dry, but oh my gosh, it smells so good. It smells so good right now. We have them sometimes at parks and just green spaces, and I'll walk by and just rub my hands on them and just walk around, because I can. So it smells like that right now in my house and my hands. So yeah, Blanket House program, I'm super excited about it. Our newest set of shenanigans. Come join us. Come be a part of the shenanigans that we got going on. Things that I think are really good things, and I think that will offer the opportunity for some women who may be seeking rest to come and do rest in a rest and heart-centered space with us. So, yep, that's what I got. Live life fully today. Bye. Enjoy your weekend.